Hello and welcome back to the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled of course by Petron. As always, my name is Aaron Thompson. We're coming to you now for race 29 of the season, the first event here at the 8th round in Sepang International Circuit. But before then, a quick walk down the pit lane.
Hi guys, I'm Sneha Sharma. I'm excited to go out for race 29 on the Sepang Formula 1 circuit in the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship. It's really exciting. The grid is ready and I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sneha. Now back to race control to watch the start of the race. As we get down to the start, we've got Elias Patanol pole position, Luke Allen in second, Luis Machafra third position, Nico Pino, Frederico Peters, Sohail Shah, John T. Dizzen, and Sneha Sharma. They're all across the line and we're down into turn one now. Luca looks to have gotten a very good start. He's going to have to dive up the inside now and decides against this. We come down into turn one with Luis Machafra having a little bit of a poor start, already dropping back a little bit, but the battle in between first and second is going to allow him to catch up very soon, as unfortunately number 96, that would be John T. Dizzen, spins out at turn one down into the first lap of the race. John manages to get it going again though, it seems, and hopefully he'll be able to rejoin the race. Unfortunately though, he'll be at the back and will have to charge for the race lead, but fortunately for him that means he's probably going to start at the front of the grid. That is as long as he can maintain a lap time that will qualify him for such a position. As we come down into turn 5 now with the leaders still tussling for position, you can see the green flag being waved there at the marshal post to make sure everyone's aware that the rolling start has commenced, or it was done already about 5 or 6 corners ago. Down into turn 7 now with Elias Panin leading Luke Allen, getting a little bit of a stretch between himself and the Irishman, but I'm sure Luca is just biding his time until the hard-braking corner, trying to drive up the inside of the fin, the fiery fin as we like to call him, coming down straight into turn 9 now. You can see of course the Petron landing at the back of the circuit. Petron of course, as I said at the beginning of this episode, is the official fuel and lubes of the championship. Of course we're using the Blaze Racing engine oil and the Petron Brown 100 fuel in all the cars, so that's what keeps us all going strong and keeping the cars healthy, and that's what's helping Elias Panin be at the front of the pack where he wants to be. But the driver is now going through turn 12 with Luke Allen, as you can see, trying to catch up to the man at the front of the pack, the man who has started us off 2 minutes ago at the beginning of the race. Coming around turn 14 now, big long straight down into turn 15. Hopefully Luca close enough to try and get a bit of toe off of the fin in front of him, the sizzling Irishman, I'm sure. Not going to settle for second position. As further down the order, we can see number 78. If I'm not mistaken, that's Sohail Shah, a newcomer to the championship, defending from Frederico Peters, who's just behind him in the red number 57 car, while Nico Pino in the orange number 24 seems to have suffered at some point because he's down now into 6th when he qualified 4th, so he must have had a bit of bad luck in the opening stages of this race, as Luis Machafra seems to close the gap between himself and Luke Allen. The gap between Luke Allen and Elias Panin about equal to the gap between himself and third position, as it looks like Fred is going to go around the outside at turn 1 on Sohail Shah. Can he make it stick? He's going to be a fantastic position to dive up the inside at turn 2 if he manages to do so, but he goes a little bit wide, scrubs some time, and unfortunately he's lost momentum there, so he's going to have to catch back up to the Indian driver in just a moment. He'll be doing exactly that, exactly on his mind as he comes through turn 3 up into the hill, into turn 4. As you can see, Elias Panin is still leading the race at the front and back, but let's look further down the grid. Let's focus on number 78 and number 57. That's where the battling is at the moment, and it looks to me as if we've got a fight for fourth here. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I was in fact mistaken. Number 78 is Nico Pino, so he had a fantastic start and is defending from Fred. Sohail Shah in the number 24 car. I just got those two numbers mixed up, my mistake, but not to worry, because we continue racing here at the Sepang International Circuit for race 29 of the season, as Elias Panin leads us through turn 7 and 8. Once again, a little bit of a different start for Elias, because of course rolling start. I think it's his first rolling start. I believe it's everyone's first rolling start this weekend, so good experience for all. So we come down into turn 9. Of course, we've got a little bit too far to make anything happen. Let's have a look at the lap times though. Elias going fastest in the last lap, but Luca doing the fastest first sector, and then Elias returning the favour in sector 2. Luca gains about 2/10 of a second in sector 1, and then Elias takes the back in sector 2, so that's how close these guys are matched. And Elias Panin, of course, going to be fighting for the championship here with Luke Allen and Luis Machafra just behind them. Let's have a look at his times. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the first place driver, the second place driver going fastest in the first sector, the first place driver going fastest in the second sector, and the third place driver going fastest in the third sector. So you can see how closely everyone is matched. Coming down the back straight now, you can see Maurice Machafra has made up a lot of time on the man in front of him. 2/10 of a second, in fact, in that third second. That's how close they are now. He's going to have a look up the inside at turn 15, decides against it, decides to hold off, get the slipstream down the main straight and make a move into turn 1. That's probably the right decision there from Maurice Machafra. Let's have a look at the final lap times as they come across the start-finish straight in just a moment. But until then, there's some action going on down behind between 78, 57 and 24. These are the drivers from Chile, Portugal and India. We have Nico Pino at the front of the pack, followed by Frederico Pinches and Sohail Shah. Fantastic drive from them so far as Maurice Machafra tries to position himself to make a move through the first sector on the second place driver, Luke Allen. Maurice Machafra, ladies and gentlemen, really returning to form this weekend, going fastest in not only the third sector, as we already mentioned, but also the fourth sector, going 1/10 of a second faster than both the drivers in front of him, who lapped about the same time in at least the fourth sector. But let's have a look at the overall lap times. Of course, now you can see the gap between Maurice Machafra and Luke Allen is significantly decreased from the last lap. Of course, that's because Maurice Machafra just set the fastest lap of the race so far, only man down into 2:14s at the moment. And Elias Panando is using that to his advantage, because now Luke is going to defend from the Malaysian behind him, the Malaysian rocket as we like to call him, and that means Elias can start to edge out a lead at the front of the pack. In fact, the gap now 7/10 of a second. The gap from Luke Allen to Maurice Machafra 2/10 of a second. So if you're new to Formula Racing and you need a little bit of a tip, you need to be within 4 or 5/10 of a second to make a move in these cars. So Elias is now quite safe from Luke Allen, but Luke Allen is under significant pressure. Maurice Machafra makes a move up the inside at turn 9. Fantastic move, beautifully executed there by the Malaysian rocket, who now can put the blue car assistant Irishman Luke Allen, who is the man, in fact, at the front in the championship, if I'm not mistaken, in his rear view mirrors, and start to chase down the fiery Finn. Elias Pannon driving the red number 58, who is at the moment 7/10 of a second. Let's look at the lap times. We're going the same in the first sector, so that means that Elias is going to be 9/10 of a second so far ahead of Luca and Maurice, and he's just set the fastest second sector and the fastest third sector of the race so far. So that's really going to widen the gap between himself and Luca and Maurice, or Maurice and Luca, I should say now is the correct order. As further down the grid, we can see the battle between 78, 57 and 24. All rookie drivers, if I'm not mistaken, Nico Pino, Frederico Peters and Sohail Shah. In fact, Sohail not a rookie driver because he's been doing F1600 in India for a few years, and he's done very well there, second overall last year, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Fred's going to try up the inside of Nico Pino. Can he position himself to make a good exit, get the slipstream, and have a dive up the inside at turn 1? He's tried it before on the last lap, may try it again now, as Luke Allen, I'm sure, has the same thing in mind, but he's just a little bit too far back behind Maurice Machafra already to make that happen. As it looks like Fred is making a move, he's gone to the outside, he's already alongside number 78. He's got a fantastic exit, he's going to go all the way around the outside at turn 1. A little bit twitchy there for the Portuguese driver. He's scrubbed time again through turn 1, but he's close enough to have a move up the inside at turn 2. He decides against it, couldn't make that safely, but Sohail Shah taking advantage of the battling between the orange and red cars in front of him. And you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, we have two orange cars side by side. That is Fred Peters on the in the front, and Sohail Shah in the 24 just behind him on the left-hand side of your screens now. Looks like Sohail's going to go up the inside at turn 4. Can Nico take advantage and try and widen his gap and get a little bit of safety from the two drivers behind him? It seems like he's doing exactly that while these fantastic young athletes battle down into turn 5. Let's see if they're side by side through turn 5. No, not quite. Fred seems to have held off the charge from Sohail there, at least for the moment, but I'm sure the Indian driver not going to give up anytime soon, because he's determined to have some race wins under his belt here at the Sepang International Circuit, as he goes a little bit wide on the exit of turn 6, which may compromise him through turn 7 and 8. He may need to build back up his momentum and make a move later on in the race. But let's have a quick look back to the front of the grid. We have Elias Pannon setting the fastest lap last time around, 2:14.454. That's almost 7/10 of a second faster than Maurice Machafra behind him, and Maurice is about 7/10 of a second faster than Luke Allen. So not the best day so far for Luke Allen. Luke, of course, fastest in free practice, but then in qualifying lost a little bit of pace, while Elias Pannon found it all and managed to put himself on pole position at the front of the pack, exactly where he wants to be. In fact, he's doing so again, setting the fastest time once again in the first and third sectors of the race so far. Very good there from Elias Pannon, plus the fiery Finn determined to rack up some more race wins to his name, as Maurice Machafra has him in his sights now. The gap between first and second is 1.8 seconds, so a lot of work there for Muis to do, and Muis, of course, still lapping significantly slower than the man in front of him. Perhaps he's determined, perhaps he's got a different strategy here. He wants to keep Luke Allen behind him and start off the next race ahead of Elias and try and take advantage in that manner. Of course, as we all know, motorsport can be a strategic game, and that's part of the reason we all love it. But let's have a look as we cross the start-finish line. No, that's not what Maurice Jaffa is going for, because he's closed right in on the man in front of him. Elias Panin setting a 2:14.758. That's only 2/10 off the leader's time, and he's going to put his foot down. He's going to go even faster next time around if he can do so, and trying to close in that gap. Unfortunately, though, he's not quite gaining any positive momentum at the moment, because the gap now between Elias and Muis is 2 seconds. So Muis really has to put his foot down. But we've got another 10 minutes to go, which gives us about 5 or 6 laps. 2/10 per second. Well, no more than that, almost 3 or 4 tenths per second. He's got to close in. So Muis has got his work cut out for him. But let's have a look further down the battle for 4th position. Nico Pino still managing to maintain his starting order in the number 78 car, the red number 78 car, still in 4th position, holding off intensive battles from Fred Peters and Sohail Shah. But fortunately, all drivers managing to maintain their position. That's good news for them in their respective nations. And it looks like Sohail Shah may have dropped back slightly from Fred Peters. We saw him go very wide on the exit of turn 6 last time around. He may have missed something. He may have had a little bit of an excursion, but not to worry. He's continuing to race, and he's going to close in on the man in front of him, Frederico Peters, as soon as he can. Let's have a look at their lap times just out of interest. We've got a 2:16.248 from Nito, a 2:16.673 from Fred, and a 2:16.998 from Sohail Shah. That's their last time around, but the best time around, 2:16.248 from Nico and a 2:16.272 from Fred. So they're very close indeed. As we come down through turn 11 now, Fred's going to try and close in on the man in front of him, Nico Pino. Nico having a good start to his race so far, defending excellently from the drivers behind him, but he's really had to focus on defense the entire race, so it has to give him a chance, an opportunity to put in a good lap time and start trying to close in on the man in front of him now, Luke Allen. Let's have a word about Luca and see where he is. He's doing a 2:15.318 last time around. That's 5 tenths of a second slower than the race leaders, Elias Panin and Maurice Mustafa. Elias, just for information, ladies and gentlemen, just went fastest once again in the first sector, but by 2 tenths of a second from Maurice Mustafa. But Maurice setting his personal best in that sector and matching the second 2 sectors to the fiery pin. So let's see if he can pull something out in the 4th sector and make something happen here for Malaysia on home soil. Unfortunately, he just managed to do so and goes 1/10 of a second faster, slower than the man in front of him in that 4th sector, making him putting him in a 2:14.773 as opposed to Elias's 2:14.574. Though, so of course Elias there widening his gap once again, as it looks like Sohail Shah is going to go very wide, just off screen there as Frederico Peters tries to make a move on Nico Pino once again at turn 1, trying to utilize the full advantage of the slipstream down the back straight, and then once again down the front straight, as he has been doing in the last few laps. But that's not working out so well for you, mate. You might want to try something else, maybe up into turn 4. You're close enough to have a dive. Go for it. We all believe in you as you come up the hill now into turn 4. Is he close enough to make something happen? Maybe not quite. He's going to hold off. Maybe turn 9. We might see some heavy braking. So a fantastic move there earlier on from Luis Mustafa, who went up the inside of Luke Allen at that corner. Very clean move, one of the cleanest moves we've seen all year. Fantastic driving from the Malaysian Rocket. As we come around turn 5 now, Fred very close indeed to the car in front from the red number 78 of Nico Pino, coming all the way from Portugal this week, and of course a rookie driver. Both these two young gentlemen, in fact, rookie drivers, just come down into turn 7 now. 7 and 8, really one turn here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it's just one gigantic corner that I think is actually almost flat with these cars. As you come down into turn 9, breaking point there, just after the 100, just before the 50-meter board. As you can see, Fred going to try and go all the way around the outside at turn 9, and now he's going to switch back up. He's got a better line now around the outside at turn 10 as well. He's close enough to try and make something happen at turn 11. He's going to switch back once again, coming alongside, but Nico Pino just closes the door on him, and Fred backs off a little bit to make sure nothing happens with these two cars. As they come down through turn 12 now, though, this is an extremely fast corner, 180 kilometers an hour they're going at this point. Down through into turn 13, that's this section. Now you're going to brake. You can see it, there you go, the car starting to slow down. It's amazing how late they brake into that corner. And that's turn 14, then you got the back straight down into turn 15 in just a moment. And Frederico Peters may be in position to make a move at that corner, but he did seem to be a little bit too far back at the exit of turn 14. But can he get the slipstream advantage and try and make a move? Looks like he does exactly that, because he's going to go all the way around the outside at turn 15. Turn 15 an off-camber corner, so you may be able to make something happen, as it looks like Sohail Shah gets a fantastic line through that corner as well. Brings him right back into competition for fourth place as fantastic move there from Fred. He went all the way around the outside at turn 15, went off onto the rumble strip and managed to take Nico Pinos on the exit of the corner. Nico not happy about that at all. He's going to try and do exactly what Fred did to him, or tried to do to him in the last few laps at turn 1. There's going to be a collision here. Oh no! Terrible news for the Portuguese driver. He tried to come in at turn 1. Looked like he lost it just a little bit, just a fraction of a second, and that caused his right front end plate to collide with the rear left tire, or the rear right tire perhaps, of Frederico Pires, who may have a little bit of damage. Just seems to be a little bit slow coming up into turn 4. But let's have a quick replay of the action now. On the right hand side of your screens, in the red number 58, that's Nico Pino. He was previously in 4th position, but at the previous corner, Frederico Pires in the orange number 57 managed to gain position on him. Nico turns in, then I think notices he just lost the front end a little bit, and there you go, that's what happened. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happened there with Nico Pino. Fortunately, though, everyone seems to be okay, and we'll find out in a few moments if Nico managed to get running again. But back to the front of the grid, you have to pay some love to the man who's led the race from the start, posting a 2:14.745. Once last time around, again 0.2 of a second faster than the man behind him, Luis Pachafra. Fantastic race for Elias so far. Of course, Elias also a rookie driver, but in competition for the overall championship. And he's been driving fantastically all race as he usually does. Flawless session for him so far. I hope we don't give him the commentator's curse, but he seems invulnerable to that. As we come around turn 14 down the back straight once again with 4 minutes 40 seconds left to go on the board. We have about 2 laps, maybe a third lap if the leader can cross in time to grab before the checkered flag gets put out. Luis Pachafra there in the pink number 13 car. He's the man in second position. He's the hope for Malaysia this weekend, doing a 2:14.758. That's his best time. Last time around doing a 2:14.929 was just a little bit too far off. The man in front of him, where's he losing the time? He's losing a tenth of a second in sector 1, and he's matching sector 2, matching sector 3, and in sector 4 he's losing 2/10, so that's where it is. He's losing most of his time in sector 4, so he's got to figure that out. He's got to sit with his engineers after this, his driver coach, and try to see exactly what's going wrong for him here at his home circuit, which he knows very well indeed, and try to figure out what's going wrong through turn 14. Turn 14, for your information, ladies and gentlemen, is turns 12, 13, 14 and 15, the back quarter of the circuit, I should say. It includes the back straight, so Luis Pachafra maybe has to focus on getting a better exit coming out of turn 14 to really utilize that back straight, and perhaps he can find some time there, or perhaps it's through the fast sector, turn 12 and 13. Very difficult corners there, which we know have been resurfaced this week, and that might be throwing him off. He may be used to a slightly different line through that sector off the track. But on screen now we have Frederico Pires in the orange number 57 car. Good drive for him so far. He hung in there behind Nico Pino, who defended flawlessly until turn 15 last lap, and Fred just went all the way around the outside. That turn 15 though, that's a tricky one there. You can't blame Nico for that because it's an off-camber corner, and you don't expect a car to be able to go all the way around the outside of you like that. But we have seen it happen again and again here in Malaysia, especially in the rain, and Fred used that to his advantage, no doubt, being coached by his father on how to take advantage at every point in the race. And he did just that, managed to get a fantastic line, come out on the outside, get a good exit, and he took it for Portugal. Fantastic driving there for him. So Hilshad tried to take advantage as well, seemed to get a very good line through the corner, but it was down to turn 1 where he managed to gain position, but unfortunately for Portugal, for Chile I should say, Nico Pino just lost it on the entrance to the corner and spun out, but he was not going to give up. He's going to be back on the throttle. Let's see where he's going now. He's currently doing he's currently lapping just a little bit down, and I think he had some small damage to his car, so it's bad luck there for Nico Pino, but fantastic defense for him up until that point. So just heard in my ear, we're coming into the last lap. There we go, Elias Panin crossing the line one more time for this race. You can see the last lap being displayed there. As we come across, let's have a look at the lap times. Luis Pachafra now 2:15s, Elias Panin doing a 2:14.864, so everyone of course slowing down as the race progresses and the tires start to wear out and everybody starts to get tired. I'm sure at this point Luis Pachafra may be thinking, okay, fine, I can't catch the man in front of me, he's over 2 seconds ahead, there's no possibility for that, so let's just calm down, let's conserve my tires, and I'm going to be starting in front of him in the next race, and I got to keep him there, I got to keep him right behind me until the end of the last lap, and that's exactly what's going to be going on here in just a few hours time, at about 4:40 if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. In fact, it is 2:55 is the next race. I was mistaken earlier, but 2:55 is the correct time for race 2 here at the Sepang International Circuit for the 30th race in the 40 race 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship. Fueled, of course, as always, by Petron, the Blaze Racing engine oil. As we come down once again with the lights of panel, let's pay some love to the man at the front of the grid in the red, number 58, the fiery Finn, as we like to call him, coming around turn 8 and then down into turn 9, a big long straight there to take advantage of course, in front of the beautiful Petron livery at the back of the circuit. Fantastic drive for him, and there's not really much to say because he's had an uneventful race. He just put his head down, put lap times in consistently again and again and again. He managed to stay about 0.2 of a second faster than the man behind him, Maurice Mustafa, every lap of the race until eventually just across the checkered flag in just a few moments. I'm sure he's going to take the race win for Finland once again. This is not his first experience, but I'm sure it's going to be another satisfying one. First time under a safety car start, or a rolling car start I should say, so interesting experience for everyone here this weekend, a lot to learn. Of course, Formula 4, the whole point of Formula 4 is it's an introductory championship. It's here to train the drivers, of course, but not just the drivers, everybody involved, the engineers, the mechanics, the organisation team, myself as well. We all start off here at Formula 4 and work our way up, try to build a career in motorsport, and that's exactly why the FIA designed the FIA ladder to Formula 1, Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2, and of course Formula 1. So it's a fantastic experience here. Once again, this Sepang International Circuit, Elias Sabanin already celebrating as he takes the checkered flag for Finland. Once again, fantastic drive there from the red number 58 car.
The race was pretty good. It made it a little bit easier when it was safety car start. And I managed to make a quite big gap and then control the race from there.
Before the start, when the safety car went to the pit, I make a mistake with the start, so which means I beat gap with Luca. So, but towards the end, I catch up Luca very well. When I overtake Luca on the turn 9, I was catching Elias, but Elias was so quick, so I can't do anything about it. So I just go with the flow.
Just kind of struggled throughout the race. I struggled in qualifying, I suppose, from there, and then tried to make a small change for this race, but unfortunately it didn't work. Yeah, gonna have to work pretty hard with my engineer now for the next race, because I mean, not a nice feeling going from quickstep free practice to about 5/10 off now. So yeah, we'll see what we can do for the next race. And well done to the guys, Elias and Moise. They put in a good race, and they were quite fast, so well done to them.
Yeah, the race was good. I started 8th, I finished 7th, I gained a position, so it feels good. I was able to push throughout the race. It set good lap times, my best till now, so I'm quite happy. Looking forward to the next race.
Really, from me, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the race. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.